All right, so this video is a little different. I want to do a desk setup tour. I want to show you what my desk looks like, where the Java Brains videos get made. This kind of like a behind the scenes view, because I know a lot of people have asked me questions like what's the gear I use, what's the setup I use. So I want to show you what gear I use, kind of show you what the other side of the camera looks like so that you have a behind the scenes view of where every Java Brains tutorial video is made. So this is my desk. Well, actually, hang on. I've seen some YouTube videos as well. I know how to do this. This is not how I show my desk. This is how I show off my desk. Roll the clip. Or maybe not. Let me just talk you through this. All right, so let's start with the desk. The desk that I have is the autonomous sit-stand desk. It's a smart office sit-stand desk which has electric controls. I can press a button and have it automatically raise up and lower. I have always been a fan of sit-stand desks. I had one, the earlier one that I had was a manual sit-stand desk, right? It had this kind of a lever and I had to turn the lever to get the desk to go up and down. It was a manual thing. This thing is automatic, like I press a button and then it goes up or down. It's really cool. It also has this memory feature which allows me to program a certain height. This is super important because my camera, basically my whole setup is on this desk, right? I don't have a separate camera stand. Everything is on this desk. So the position of the desk affects the position of my camera. I'm going to talk about how my camera setup is in a little bit, but I need to know exactly what the height of the desk is. Otherwise, I'm going to have to change the camera position and all that stuff. That becomes a pain. So with this thing, I can program my height for when I'm standing and when I'm sitting so that I know the exact position where my camera is going to be on my desk. So this is super handy. So whenever I'm coding for a long time, I usually prefer to change my posture. Like if I've been sitting for a long time, I try standing for a little while. If I've been standing for a long time, I sit for a little while. I think it's generally healthy. And you know what they say about a lot of people sit too long and that's causing a lot of health problems. They say sitting is the new smoking and standing is the new jogging. Well, the second part isn't true, I made it up. But the idea is you don't want to be sitting for a long time, okay? So you want to change your posture and definitely recommend a sit-stand desk for that. So this is the desk. Moving on to my monitor. The monitor that I have is a 32-inch 4K monitor, okay? It's an LG 32-inch 4K monitor. The reason I have chosen a 4K monitor is because of something called display scaling, okay? What display scaling allows you to do, and this is true for multiple operating systems like Windows, Linux, Mac. What display scaling allows you to do is it uses more than one pixel in the monitor to render a pixel that gets visually seen by the user, right? So if one pixel that I see over here is actually rendered by this monitor by multiple pixels. So what this allows you to do is, since I do a lot of screen recording, I can record my screen and later zoom it up in post-production without having to lose quality, okay? Because otherwise, if I have a certain resolution and then I'm trying to zoom it up, the quality deteriorates. But because of display scaling, I can record my screen and then zoom up the video later in post-production. Since there are multiple pixels which are rendering that single pixel, I can zoom it up and still retain good quality for a substantial amount of zoom, which is really awesome. So this is the monitor that I use. This is where I'm basically coding or presenting or something like that, and I'm recording my screen. This is the camera where I record myself, okay? So this is not a fancy camera. I'm not using DSLR, none of that fancy stuff. This is a Logitech 1080p webcam. Yes, I'm using a webcam for my recording. For a long period of time, I wasn't even showing up in my videos. As you can imagine, some of my older videos, I wasn't, you wouldn't have seen my face. But these days I'm showing my face because I think it adds value to the video. It adds some kind of a connection. So I'm hoping other people would like it too. It kind of establishes that connection. So I record with this thing. All right, so this is going to record my video feed. So I'm going to be looking here and typing or whatever. You're going to see my face, and then the screen recording is going on. I'm going to do this, and when I'm live streaming, I use the software called OBS, which allows me to kind of get both those feeds, mash them up in the same time, live, and then send that out to a streaming, platform like YouTube or whatever else. So this is what I use. The keyboard and mouse, I have this mechanical keyboard actually. So this one's the Corsair mechanical keyboard. I like the mechanical keyboard, although it's like there's no real value in it. My first exposure to computers was using this really old IBM keyboard, which was this clickety clackety sound, right? When you type something there, it would make that clackety sound, which I like. It takes me back to those times. So this one has that clickety clackety sound itself. So I don't know if you can hear it. So it's like it has a nice sound. And I've had people comment and say, hey, your keyboard sounds really good. What keyboard do you use? Well, this is the keyboard I use. It's a mechanical keyboard. This thing that you see over here is a stack of hard disks. I don't have a complicated NAS setup. What I do is I have these external hard disks, and whenever I record tutorials, I save it, both the editing project and the final rendered video. I save it in a hard disk and then put it over here. I haven't yet found the need to have all of them available all the time. So what I do is, like, when I finish a course or when I finish like a bunch of courses, all those videos, all the edited stuff goes into a hard disk, external hard disk, and then I put it over here and then label it and put it over here. So whenever I need to get the archive, I'm going to go pick it up and then use it, right? So I never had a need for connecting all of them all the time. So this solution works for me. If I ever encounter a situation where like I need to have access to all of them, well, then I'm going to have to set up a NAS, but I haven't had the need so far. Some other stuff that I want to show you here is this guy. You might be wondering what this is. Okay, before I talk about that, let me show you. I use the iPad for sketching stuff. Like whenever I'm drawing stuff, this is what I use. I use the iPad. This is the bigger iPad. I think it's the 12-inch iPad. And I have a Apple Pencil. So this is what I use for drawing. And again, this gets connected using either AirPlay or using a hardwired connection. And then this is also shown on the screen. While I'm drawing this, I'm recording this thing and showing this on the screen. So this is handy. So now that you've seen this setup, you kind of appreciate why I need the sit stand desk with the programmable option. The camera is over here, right? The camera is on the monitor. So when I'm standing, it has a certain position, it has a certain angle. And let's say I record a couple of lessons, and then I go get a glass of water or whatever, lower the desk, and then go back up, and then I want to record something more. It's important that the desk goes back to the same position that was in before I took that break. Otherwise, you're going to be like, in one video, you're going to look Kaushik from the top. Another video, you're going to look at Kaushik from another angle. It's going to look a little odd. I like that consistency. So that's the reason why I have the sit stand desk with the programmable height. This allows me to just press a button. I have these 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers over here. So I can click a button, and then it's going to go exactly to the height where I record all of my content. So that works perfectly well. Now you might have noticed I don't have like a light source. I don't have a light on my face. And that's because of this guy. I have a window here. I can just open the window, and there you go. Here's my light source. So I use this when I'm recording during the day. During the night, it gets a little tricky. I'm gonna have to find the light source and put it over here, but mostly I can do with it. I haven't invested in a big complicated lighting setup. The one drawback of using natural light is that as the day goes on, like let's say I'm recording for 4 or 5 hours, I start in the morning, and then as the day goes on, you can have the light increasing a little bit, and then after some time, either as evening sets in, the light kind of diminishes a little bit. You might have seen that in some of my courses. That's the problem with natural light, but the advantage is that when it's at its peak, when natural light is really good, the lighting effect is really good. No studio light can match the proper lighting that natural sunlight can give you. So I like natural sunlight for this. Now, as for the computer that powers this all, I actually have two computers. The first is my MacBook, which is sitting over here, which is connected to my monitor over here. The second is my Windows PC, which is sitting over here, right? So this is actually a Windows / Linux PC. I run Windows and Fedora on dual boot. So this one is my kind of like graphics heavy work PC. When I need to do like video editing or something that's graphics heavy, I use my PC. When I need to do light coding, I use my my MacBook. I usually avoid using my MacBook for like video editing stuff because the fans go crazy there, and it's not just because I have this in clamshell mode. Even when I open it, it does trigger the fans very quickly if I'm doing a lot of heavy editing. So that's the reason why I use my Windows PC for graphics heavy work, and this one's mainly for coding. What I have here is a switch, right? It's a KVM switch, which allows me to switch, like press a button and switch my accessories, my keyboard and mouse, between my Mac and my desktop, either Fedora or Windows. Okay, so I just press this button, and then it toggles the controls, the keyboard and mouse controls between this and this. So I can, like if I'm working on my MacBook and I want to change to my Windows PC, I just press that button and all my USB controls go to the Windows PC. Okay, so that's the advantage of that. This other thing I want to show you, this is something you might be wondering what this is. So this is actually a drum machine. Okay, I don't know how many of you know that I do music in my spare time. Not very good at it, but I do try. And this is actually a drum machine. You might be wondering, what am I doing with the drum machine here when I'm showing you my desktop tour? I use it for making music, of course. But then one thing that I have been trying to do is to use it as a USB controller, as a controller for my streaming software. Like I told you, I use OBS for recording my live streams, and OBS has this ability to switch scenes. Okay, I can go from scene A to scene B. Let's say scene A is showing my face, scene B is showing my screen, scene C is showing my face and my screen. So you have these different scenes that you can switch to, and you can do that either using keyboard shortcuts. What I'm trying to do is map it to this drum machine over here, so I can press a button and then change to a different scene. If I get it working, it'll be super handy, but I haven't gotten working yet. Maybe someday. So that's something I'm working on. If not for that, I just use it for playing drums and playing my music. So that's it. So this is my desk setup. Again, to recap, the autonomous sit-stand desk, the LG 4K monitor, the Corsair mechanical keyboard, some generic mouse. I don't even know what this mouse is. My MacBook for my laptop, and a Windows PC, Windows / Linux PC, which I actually assembled on my own. It uses Ryzen processor, 1060, GTX 1060, I think is a Windows card. I think I have around 16 to 32 MB of RAM. So it's good, but not too good. Suffices for making the kind of content that I make. I've seen a lot of these tech setups for YouTubers showing you their setup, and they have like very complicated gear. This is not that complicated, but again, the kind of content that I make doesn't really require like a Blackmagic 4K video camera. So this is how I record my Java Brains videos. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.